I think that's the perfect time to start.
Those conversations, we had them.
My belief is that it is a journey.
Here at the Transition Strategists, we are all about helping business owners and successors go through business transition well so that they can live their best lives and just enjoy relationships and the fun of being in business. It really has some challenges, as we all know. However, there's some huge rewards. So in order to do that and help for people to learn how to do this, we put together the Family Business Transition Toolkit. And it's just a simple blog that highlights 4 of the big tools that we like to use in our transition work and also in our transition masterclass, where we bring owners together for 3 days and help them to develop a transition roadmap in literally just 3 days of diving deep and learning with your peers. In the blog, we highlight 4 of our tools that we use. And so let's dive into the first one. First thing to know is that a business transition is both an art and also a science. There's art in just the experience, using your intuition, carefully listening, having an open mind, having humility and confidence and humor, and all of the things that help to create an experience that you're going to enjoy as you transition out of the business and also as your successor comes in. There's the science side, because you've got the goals and the path, and you've got taxes, and you've got who's going to be the right person, and willingness and ability, and all of the things that actually are more functional that are required for that to happen. So in that, one of our first tools is called the Objectives Matrix. It's a beautiful tool that helps you to do some introspection on what is it you really want. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your spouse? What do you want for you as a couple, if you have a spouse or a significant other? What do you want for your kids, if you have kids? What do you want for your family? What about extended family? And oh yeah, what about the business, by the way? What about all those employees and all the clients or customers and vendors and just people that you've worked with for years? What do you want for them? The Objectives Matrix is a part of the toolkit, and it really helps you to find out and explore over time, what is it you really want? What are your objectives? Which is really your why. And also helps you to prioritize, because there are things called deal breakers, and those are just objectives that, if we're going to lose them, we just don't want to go forward. So it's fun to look into your heart and into your mind, and not just worry about tax and how, but and how much, but what do we really want, and what are we trying to accomplish here? The second tool that we work on, or we bring to you in this blog, is called Exploring Business Transition Paths. So we want you to think about the paths. If you understand what you're trying to achieve, your objectives matrix, then the paths are pretty straightforward most of the time. They're actually narrowed. When you don't know what you're looking for, though, and you really don't know what your successor wants, that's when your paths forward are basically almost infinite. There's so many ways that you can do this. And I think that exploring the paths, once you do your objectives, helps you to understand maybe, what might be good for you. And then you can take slices of that. So that's a high-level tool that just will help you to kind of explore some of the paths that you might be looking at. The next one is called the Family Business Checklist. And this one is set up so that you can just walk through and see what kinds of things are foundational for you to actually transition well. So things that are included in there are potentially prioritizing healthy relationships, maybe understanding the difference of a business culture versus a family culture, where in family everybody typically is included and everybody is meant to get along, right? Sometimes families fall apart. We always have the family member who is, a little bit different than the others, and that's the way that goes. But typically your family is very inclusive, and some things aren't discussed in the family, whereas in the business it can be inclusive and exclusive, and you've also got different types of conversations that go on there where they're acceptable on the business side and maybe not so acceptable if you were dealing with it on the family side. So what culture and what are you doing with that? Then there is the idea of just respect and respect amongst generations and setting up the vision for the future. And the last one that we talk about in that one that I think is so important is just acting with gratitude. Gosh, what an opportunity, not only for the transitioner, but also for the successor or successors. Many people would just love to have the opportunity to come into a business. This is just incredible. So acting with gratitude, don't forget that one. So that's in our family business checklist. And then last but not least is the Successor Development Tool. I can't tell you how many times we are asked, how do you prepare a successor? And what does that look like? And so we put together a simple successor development tool just to give you some concepts and ideas of something that you might be able to use. And it talks a little bit about I call it the goofy dance, where, in the beginning, the successor is following you as the business owner. Then the successor starts to kind of step on your toes if you're the business owner. And it's kind of hard if you're the successor to do that, especially if you're close to the person or have high respect and have been taught high respect in generations. Because remember, the business culture is a little bit different than the family culture. And that's something that, setting some new boundaries and having understanding of that, just which hat are you wearing? Are you in the business or out? Is helpful. So you're stepping on toes, both of you, and then sooner or later the successor starts to lead, and that is exciting for the owner and also sometimes a little bit bittersweet because they're doing it without you, and hopefully they're doing it well, otherwise you're going to step back in, but you want that. But then again, it's kind of hard not to be needed in a way anymore, especially even if it's just one task. You might still be needed in the business, but it's this evolution of giving up tasks over and over and over again until you're no longer needed in the business ultimately. And that's how a successful transition really works, because it's so important to everybody involved that you're able to do that. So these are just 4 of our tools that we're using in our workshops and in our work. We have a fun, again, 3-day opportunity for people to come into our masterclass where we use many tools, and we just wanted to share a few of them with you in this nice blog so you can get a taste of what we do, and also so that we can provide back to the community, because we know that if the businesses don't do well, that it impacts not only the people that are involved, but also the wider community in your towns and in your cities. So please take a look. I'd invite you to read the blog, download our tools, explore them, even if you just do it on your own. It's just some great steps towards a successful transition for you and your business.